T-00, commonly known as Mr. X, is the perfect embodiment of an enforcer. Mr. X was deployed into Raccoon City in order to eliminate any law enforcement and retrieve the G virus. But who gave the command, and why? The answer is Article 12. During the zombie outbreak, the Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service, or UBCS, was sent to Raccoon City to rescue civilians, though their actual purpose in the city was to eliminate incriminating evidence that could be used against Umbrella. Just 2 days after deployment, the UBCS suffered major losses, with many of its operatives dead or infected. With the UBCS under demise, Article 12 was enacted, giving all remaining bioweapons and squad members to Colonel Sergei Vladimir. Vladimir, a relentless military man, did not hold back on his use of these deadly bioweapons, and gave the order to deploy T-00 to Raccoon City in order to sweep the streets clean. Mr. X arrives on the rooftop of the Raccoon City Police Department, regardless of which scenario you pick. On Leon's A side, Mr. X will make your journey hell as it continuously survives every fatal injury, all the way up to the end of the scenario, where a little fire brings out a spark in Mr. X, mutating it into a super tyrant. Things go a little differently for Mr. X on Claire's A side, and its luck runs dry just halfway through the scenario. Claire encounters T-00 in different places, in the parking lot and throughout the streets of Raccoon City. Just as Mr. X nearly gets a hold of Claire, he is impaled by a psychotically protective father, William Birkin, and Mr. X's reign of terror is over for good. Mr. X is a part of the T-103 Tyrant model series. A successor to the T-002 Tyrant series, Mr. X was primarily conceived to rid the Tyrant series of its major flaw, disobedience. Here's a little refresher of what disobedience I'm referring to. The T-002 was a marvelous creation, but it was still rough around the edges. In 1998, modified embryos of the T-002 resulted in the successful creation of T-103 Tyrants. These Tyrants could follow orders, physically resembled humans, and possessed basic intelligence. Unlike its predecessor, T-002, it would not gain a sense of self after being left alone for too long. T-103s, like Mr. X, are emotionless killing machines. T-00's method of killing is quite simple. It fills up the entire hallway, leaving little to no room to escape. It doesn't seem to be in a hurry because he simply chases the player at walking speed. Aggravating it, however, will make Mr. X pick up the speed. When T-00 does get a hold of you, one final grip, it preferably squashes its victim's head.
Get out of here!
Oh my god.
This execution has been seen in multiple forms of Resident Evil media. Upon stunning Mr. X, he'll fall to the ground for approximately 25 seconds and return to its duty. The T-103 series had been packed with regenerative abilities. It would have to take a really big hit from a really big firearm to actually damage them. If that's the case, and Mr. X is gravely wounded, the mutation causes a giant shift in defense and offense. A Super Tyrant is evolved. Though it is even deadlier, the Super Tyrant's heart beats outside of its chest, which, you guessed it, it's a weak spot. In conclusion, Mr. X doesn't offer much story-wise, but his impact is a big one in terms of making Resident Evil a true survival series. The perfect predator, Fedora included, Mr. X ranks up top for the series' most memorable antagonists. How intimidating do you find Mr. X? Any recommendations for future videos? If you'd like to watch more Resident Evil lore videos, check out the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, stay single.